Welcome back to another episode of Knock Stiff Golf. I'm Kyle, and today's my favorite day of the week. And we all know that's Par 5 Friday. Today I want to kind of go over a little bit of my video process. But first, let me show you what I got in the mail. So I've been going at this whole YouTube thing for a couple months now, and I've been trying to put out 2 videos a week. One of my favorite things is to see what other gear people are using, what's their process, their workflow for putting out content. So I thought it would be helpful for me just to show the 5 things that I seem to be using for every video. It's probably the most common question I get asked is, what do I use to create videos? So we're gonna go over 5 things. And I think this comes from a lot of people are wanting to create content. They just don't know where to start or what gear is acceptable to use. And a little secret is any gear is acceptable. It's gonna be just you pressing the record button, pressing the shutter, and actually getting it done. Let's start with the number 1 thing I use. So the number 1 thing that I seem to be using the most in all my videos is what I'm shooting on right now. And that's the Canon EOS M50. So it's a mirrorless camera. It's super compact and tiny. It's super affordable. It was just on sale during Black Friday for like $5.99, and it was a great pickup to get. I mean, even with the kit lens that it comes with, it has all the features you need to shoot good quality content. What I'm normally shooting in is 24 frames per second. That's kind of the generic cinematic frame rate that you'll see a lot of people shooting in. And so I use that for the most part, and then it does shoot 60 frames per second if you need to do a little slow motion stuff. So that's nice to have as well. But other than that, the battery life is okay, but this is kind of the workhorse behind my channel and honestly what I'm using to shoot photos on and gather all the content I can. So that brings me to number 2, and that's what sits on top of my camera, and that's my Rode VIDEOMIC Pro. Now, what you're gonna learn when you start creating videos that a lot of people are picky about their sound. Really, I'm just hoping to get good, clean, clear audio going. This mic is pretty expensive for what I would probably start off with. I'm borrowing it from a friend right now, but it's kind of turned into a long-term borrowing. There's plenty of affordable mics out there. The Rode makes some smaller mics that are 60 bucks, and then there's a Tascam that's like $29 that has terrific reviews. Most of the cameras that you're gonna get, especially Canons, aren't known for their internal mics that they have on them, so you're gonna need some sort of external audio that is going to give you the quality that you're going to need. So I encourage you to invest in some sort of mic, whether that is a lapel mic or it's going to be a shotgun mic that goes on top of your camera. So that brings me to number 3, which is another audio aspect, and that's the music that you're using inside of your videos, and especially inside of my videos, is the music keeps the video kind of flowing, and it can emphasize different parts, it can add drama, it can add excitement, whatever it may be that you need. And maybe you have a portion that's not super exciting. The right music can make that part of the video go over really well. I've used different music outlets. I've used stuff off of SoundCloud, but lately I've been watching a lot of guys on YouTube, and a lot of them recommended EPIDEMIC sound. So I looked into it. I did the 30-month free trial, and actually that just expired for me, so I'm now paying for it, and I feel like it's worth it. You have so much music to choose from. You don't have to worry about the copywriting, which is a great thing when you're putting on YouTube or other social medias, is you can use any of the songs in there. You can break them down to different parts of the song, which they call stems. You can use the bass line, you can use the melody, whatever part you want, and put that into your video. And so it's got endless resources of music, and then it also has special effects in there where you can add whooshes and if you can think of a sound, it's on there. because I've looked for the most random things I can find, and they have that sound effects on their sound effect, so that you're able to use that in your video in creative ways. So number 4 is what I use to actually edit my footage after I shoot it. And so most people that are on Mac computers start off with iMovie, and that's a great program to get started on. It's free, and it has a lot of potential for creating a well-edited video. I've seen a lot of people successfully use it to create stuff that I didn't think was made on iMovie. Well, I watched a lot of YouTube tutorials, and most of the people were using Premiere, and that's an Adobe product, and I said, okay, well, I gotta get this, and it's 20 bucks a month, so it's not exactly cheap. And I used it for a good 6 months, learned it pretty well. I wasn't great at it or anything like that, but I used that to produce all my stuff a long time ago before I was loading to YouTube. And basically it came down to spending 240 bucks a year for software that I kind of wasn't using all the time. And that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. So I started looking into Final Cut Pro. And Final Cut Pro will run you anywhere from $199, $299, depending on which one you get. And it's a one-time fee, and then you have the software. And that sounded a lot better to me than paying each month. And you may disagree with that, that's fine, but I switched over to Final Cut Pro, and I found the transition relatively easy from Premiere. It's got a lot of the same features, it's a slightly different look. So I started watching all the tutorials I could to get comfortable with Final Cut Pro. And I'm to a point where my transitions are getting a little better, my color grading's getting better, and it's just really a good program to use when you're ready to kind of step it up to more features. Whoa. Just had an earthquake. Well, something. Well, anyways, so Final Cut Pro is what I use for all of my editing needs. That earthquake that just happened in Big Lake. It was a 4.7, so that one shook pretty good. We're all good here. We're getting pretty used to them, so it is what it is when you live in Alaska. So that brings us to our last one, and that is a simple one that most of us probably use already, and that's Google Docs. You need a place to kind of work out your scripts that you're gonna be using, kind of keep track of your ideas, content calendars, all the different things that go into kind of managing a channel or content. So I use Google Docs, I keep track of each episode that I do and kind of write out a rough script. And then I'll even create a content calendar that kind of lays out a rough idea for each video that I'm going to do every week. And it's not to say that that can't change, but it's always good to have kind of a rough template of what I'm going to be doing. So that makes it a lot easier when you can kind of see what's ahead next week, when can I record that, what do I need to do to make sure that that video goes out on time. So guys, that's 5 things that I use for just about every video. Again, that's my Canon M50, that's the Rode VideoMic Pro, that's the EPIDEMIC sound to get all of my music and sound effects, then I use Final Cut Pro to edit it all, and then at the end I use Google Docs to kind of manage everything to make sure everything goes smoothly in terms of content and scripts. Alright guys, that's it for this Par 5 Friday. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, comment below, let me know if this is the kind of content that you enjoy seeing. Give me any feedback you like, positive or negative, it all helps me out in the end. So I look forward to seeing you guys next week, where I'll have some details about the next month, and I think some of the details are going to be pretty exciting. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.